Margaret, a recent graduate nurse, answered the phone in our obstetrics department early one morning. "Hello, we just have baby," a male caller announced. When no question followed, Margaret asked, "How old is your baby?" 1 minute. 1 minute? Maybe 2 minutes now, was the father's calm reply. He told Margaret that mother and baby were fine, yet she advised him to call for an ambulance and gave him the number. We prepared a room for mom and baby and waited for our new patient. After the ambulance brought mother and baby, umbilical cord neatly tied, to us, we nurses marveled at the stoic Laotian woman and others like her whom we had cared for during seemingly effortless labors. Margaret and I reminisced about this as we manned the postpartum desk near the end of another night shift. Our coworker Kim, working in labor and delivery, had called Dr. B, the on-call doctor, for a laboring Laotian woman pregnant with her second child. Margaret and I recalled the story from veteran nurse Sherry, who, noticing her Laotian patient was beginning to push, pulled back the covers and discovered that the baby's head was out. With Sherry's assistance, the woman gave birth in her labor bed to a healthy baby girl. It was remarkable to us how these women typically labored with quiet dignity, in direct contrast to many of our other patients. When Dr. B passed by the postpartum desk on his way to labor and delivery, Margaret said, "Let me deliver your patient. It'll be good experience and you'll be right there." She motioned with her hands as she rehearsed emergency childbirth. And then you feel for the cord. Nurse-assisted deliveries were a rarity in our department. Protocol was in place. If the physician was absent and birth was imminent, we called for any OB or family practice doctor. If no doctor was present, we called for the emergency room physician. Yet, like with Sherry's patients, there were those unexpected occasions when babies came before a doctor arrived. On quiet nights such as this, we nurses talked through the mechanics of assisting with a birth, hoping that, if the unexpected occurred, all would go well. Unable to persuade Dr. B to let her deliver the patient's baby, Margaret retrieved the rolling ice chest and headed down the hall to fill water pitchers. I remained at the desk to answer the call lights and the telephone. Kim called for assistance to move her patient. "She's 8 centimeters, she said, when I got to the labor room. After we transferred her patient from labor room to the delivery table and arranged her legs in stirrups, I prepared to prep her while Kim left to summon Dr. B from the nearby doctor's lounge. As the woman panted with rhythmic waves of contractions, I grabbed a pair of sterile gloves from the supply cabinet near the head of the delivery table. In my haste, I touched the outside of the second glove as I prepared to put it on. Contaminated. Not wanting to waste time, I staged a 2-second internal debate. Just put it on. No. It was only a small area that my hand had touched, I tried to rationalize, but if I used that glove, sterile procedure would have been a moot point. I pulled off the first glove, snagged a new pair, and was quickly but carefully putting them on when I heard a guttural grunt behind me. Glancing over my shoulder, I saw in the mirror dark hair emerging from the patient's birth canal. "Kim!" I hollered through my mask as I hurried to the end of the delivery table, and to the patient I said, "Do this!" hoping to overcome her language barrier as I blew hard and fast. Instead, she continued to push. With one gloved hand, one bare hand, and adrenaline surging, I cradled her baby's head and then body as her newborn son made his way into the world. 27 years have passed since I delivered that baby boy, but I'll never forget the thrill, the guilt, and the lessons learned. Dr. B bursting into the delivery room calling, "Don't drop it!" supporting the baby's head, chest, and back. My bare hand slid down the slippery body to catch the legs. And later at the postpartum desk, he asked why I had been in the delivery room rather than Margaret. She was the one who wanted to deliver that baby, he said. Long before I'd heard about AIDS or had worried about hepatitis, I viewed gloves as protection solely for the patient. And that morning, the patient was who I was thinking of when I reached for that second pair. But had I known there wasn't time, that imperfect first pair would have served both of us better. I learned that morning that haste can slow you down. I learned that hindsight is an excellent teacher. I learned that sometimes you are or aren't in the right place at the right time. And I learned that in nursing, as in life, being perfect isn't always possible. Being good enough may be the only choice.